Shop around. That was the advice from the Australian energy regulator on our show yesterday for customers who think they are being overcharged for their electricity. But straight after that segment, we were really flooded with messages from people saying, where I live, there's only one provider. I can't actually shop around places like WA and regional Queensland.
So how does shopping around actually work? And for Aussies who only have one provider available, what options do they have? For all of those answers and more, Sally Tindall, Canstar's Data Insights Director, joins us this morning. Sally, hello. How are you doing this morning? Look, first, who's being hit the hardest with power prices right now and why?
Yeah, it's really interesting because we're seeing price hikes from the regulator from South Australia, ACT, Tassie, New South Wales, Victoria, South East Queensland. They're seeing drops from the regulator and from the retailers by and large. But it depends on how much electricity you consume in your house, because there's two parts to an electricity bill. Electricity rates, that's the rate that you pay when you turn the lights on, of how much you consume. They're going down by and large, but the supply charge to be connected to the grid is going up. So if you're a low energy household, you're doing the right thing. You're turning off all the lights. You could actually see your bill go up, even in those states where they're meant to be going down. This is the problem.
OK, so when it comes to shopping around, where do people start?
OK, for starters, you do what we've talked about before. You work out whether you're on the lowest price plan with your provider. There's a box on page 1 of your bill that will tell you, but prices have just changed. If your electricity provider's just changed prices, I would say just take the bull by the horns. Don't wait for the next bill to come. That could be a couple of months away, right? You go and you email them and you say, am I on the lowest price plan? If not, could you please move me to the lowest price plan?
Just an email.
Just an email. That email takes, 15, 25 seconds to draft. I would say write it on your hand and don't wash your hand until you sent that email. That'll get most people with some, good hygiene practices to actually send that email. But then go and shop around beyond your provider, right? Because the biggest savings can often be found by switching. So jump onto a comparison site like Canstar. That's a good first port of call, particularly if you're an average kind of customer. You can sort through all the electricity plans we have on our database by, relation to the reference price. So if it's like 15% lower than the reference price or 18% lower than the reference price, that's a really good, easy guide. Or you can go to Energy Made Easy, which is the government's comparison site, and do a bill upload. The robots read your bill in the background and then they spit out plans according to your electricity consumption.
So there are some areas of Australia where there's only one provider. Yes. So the onus is entirely on you to get hold of them and hassle them. Well,
this is the problem. So WA, Northern Queensland, Northern Territory, what's the common factor across them? They're huge. So the cost of actually getting electricity to a lot of those areas, a lot of those homes, is really expensive. The governments there, the state and territorial governments, heavily subsidise their bills, but as a result, there's no shopping around. There is just one provider. So it's a really difficult position because, yes, your bill could be a lot higher if there weren't subsidies, but they're still really high and there's nothing you can do about it. You can shop around for gas in certain parts of Western Australia. So that's one thing to remember. Shopping around for gas is important too. Okay. You can, and I know this is like telling a first home buyer to stop eating avocado on toast. It's like you can limit your electricity use. You're like, I already am, tell me something new. But they're, really focus on trying to bring down your electricity bill in those states if you can.
Yeah, is there anything the government can do in those areas because there's only one provider, or is the government doing as much as they can? Well, they would say.
They would probably say they're doing as much as they can, but they could up that energy relief. We could see more energy, rebates and things like that come through. There are some concessions depending on who you are. It's really important to go onto your, state or territory government website and see what savings and what concessions you might be eligible for. But, keep the pressure on the government. See if you can, see if we can get more relief coming to those households who need it most, because the hardship numbers are edging up at the moment.
Super duper quick one. You said at the beginning about supply charges. I mean, I think the message is out there, haggle over the rates, but I don't think I've paid attention to the supply charges.
No.
So can you haggle over that as well or not?
You can, but just know that it's an equation where, you shouldn't go out there and only pick a plan based on the supply charge, because for a high energy household, it's about 20% of your bill. Yeah, okay. So it's not a huge factor. For a lower energy household, if you really want to get into the reads, go out there, have a look at competitive supply charges, work out what it is compared to the electricity rates you're being offered, do the math yourself. Some people will love that. The other option I didn't mention and I've forgotten, but we should, If you want to be a road runner and switching every 3 months or switching every 6 months, there's some sign-up bonuses like $150 credit when you sign up after you stay with the first 3 months and things like that. You can jump from one to the other of those.
Yeah, but then you need all the time in the world to do that and keep calling them.
Well, switching electricity, once you know where you want to switch, it is often a 5-minute process, maybe 10.
Okay.
Worth a go anyway.
that.
All right, Sally, thank you.
Thank you.